See this welding helmet I got on my head here? Yeah, it's pretty cool welding helmet. I got it at a Tractor Supply. I can't reach across it. I got it at a Tractor Supply. I bring it home, and I go to use it, and it's only working half the time. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's going on with this piece of shit? So I'm looking. I can't figure it out. So I set it out in the sun, get it to charge up a little bit, and then I go to weld, and then it would go dead, which annoyed me because it shouldn't go dead. Well, I found a spot where it looked like it had a battery in it, and so I'm looking for the battery, and here in the bag of the parts that came with the thing, the instructions, is a little plastic bag with a battery in it. So I put a battery in it, and now the damn thing works. So anyhow, there's my tripod. I'm going to use that. But this is what we're working on today. This is a rake wheel for the H&S Rake. Now, H&S uses this pipe, and it's basically seamed black pipe or welded black pipe. Not the strongest stuff in the world to use. Possibly if they would use something like a 3/16 instead of this worthless 1/8" steel. 3/16 would probably be strong enough. But you can see inside there's a seam. And what happens is, because there's a hole drilled here, and that's where the bolt goes through to the frame, this seam actually cracks and breaks because it's harder than the rest of it, because it's been superheated and it cools at a different rate. I don't think it's friction weld. I think it's friction welded. I don't know how they actually weld those, but that is the seam for the pipe. Anyhow, it cracks there and then it breaks apart. And where's the rest of this thing, you know? The bits and pieces? Okay, so here I can demonstrate this as to what it is. This is what it looks like. Here it is. See this? Did it break at the seam? Broke at the seam. There's the crack. There's the crack on the outside. Oop. And of course, there's the hole. And if I do that one more time, so here's where the hole is. Here's where the seam is. Right there. So the seam is here on the outside. On the inside, it's right there. So that's what happens. So it breaks out at the seam, and then it starts to flex, and then it cracks right on around till it gets to the other hole. This one actually didn't go to the other hole. This one actually went on around, and it broke off. So, how do you fix that? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Got me plugged in and hooked up? Okay. So I went down to a place called Fazio's. Joseph Fazio's Steel down in Glassboro. I sent Carl down there about a year ago to pick up these pieces of pipe. Now these pieces of pipe, let me turn you around here real quick. These pieces of pipe are welded the exact same way. On this one you can see where the welded seam is. There it is on the inside. Flip it over and you can see it on the outside. And then of course the thicker piece, same thing, welded on that side. You see it on the inside. So what you do is you take this piece of steel here and you weld it all the way around on the top, okay? And then you take this piece of steel and you weld it, you go to the other side and you weld it all the way around on the back side. Timothy is about ready to cut a hole. Then what you do, hold on a second, Timothy. Then what you do is you take the grinder, which Timothy has, and you're going to grind two slots, one here and one here. And that way, when you stick this thing down in here, like so, after it's all welded together, like so, you weld those two slots fast to the new piece of metal that you make, and that holds that together. Then, with the weld that is on the outside of it, that will create a gap, about like that. And then you take your welder and you weld all the way around, and then of course you drill your hole and mount it back up, and it will never, ever, ever, ever break again. And that's how you fix these. That piece, just that axle piece, is close to $300. I think it might even be $300. Timothy's going to try and get me. He's doing. He's got his safety glasses on, and he will just cut a hole right through that. You got it through pretty good. No, you got to keep going. I got to have at least I wouldn't be sitting down to do that. That's going to hit you. Stand up. You got heart and ass disease, you know that?
Well.
Yeah, no, well. It's a big problem. That's good. Now get it on the other side. So when he's done with that, I'm going to go ahead and weld that up. You get to watch me do it on the tripod there. While he's doing this. I try to teach him stuff. Sometimes he doesn't learn very well. Watch, he's going to set his chair on fire. That's it. He's watching it set his chair on fire. Setting your chair on fire? Oh yeah, look at that. Burned a hole right through the ass.
What?
Can't believe it. Burned a hole right through it. Look at it. Oh, look at the hole.
It's a little tiny thing.
Yeah, well, little tiny things turn into great big things. Come on, finish that up so I can get going here.
It is.
You're through it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, let me get onto the tripod here and I'll weld that up and you can watch that. Good work. I'm blind. I'm making it. I see this funky blue color, green color model. Where'd you go? Perfectly rolled piece of pipe. Supposed to. You supposed? Yeah. This is farmer welding. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. So, we've got that part done, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll just come over here. Oh, that's hot.
Because of the cuts I made.
Oh, I know. I know why I did that. It's a matter of... Yay. What kind of yay?
Hmm?
I said kind of yay, so you can twist it and get it where it belongs, because it is a little bit oblong. But other than that, we are good. Our theories are good. And what I'll do is I'm going to weld it inside there, down here, and you can see the gaps that I've done. Okay, so if you want to watch this, Jesus Pete. Alright, so here we go. I'll get these slots in there, and that will make it so that centerpiece is stuck in there. It ain't going to come out. And then when I mate this together, even if this weld cracks, it won't be able to pull it out. It'll make it so that won't crack, because there will be no flexibility in it. If I just welded it here, the weak part may very well be the pipe, the weld at the pipe. It could be brittle from the heat. So if you make it solid here, then you're not going to have those issues. So here we go. There. And you can see the hole or the slot. It's fine. It's all good. I could probably run another weld over the top of it, but no real need to do that. And this is the other thing. We're going to grab that wire and this here. And I'm going to put this over on the drum so that I can weld it pretty easily. There we go. And then, you know, I should be able to just wind it around.
Hold it. So hold it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. We call that halfway done. So now what we'll do, probably just bring it here like so. Or what? No, it'll burn you. Now you can hold it. Kind of an awkward thing. Yep. And as you can see, I don't have any porosity in it because, and even though I didn't grind the paint away, I won't have porosity because where I cut it away, there was no paint. And just kind of fill it in. I think it's pretty good that way. And Mr. Tim here, you can hold it like so, right? And we'll fill it in. And then we got one more little guy here to do. And that's it. We're done. Alright, so Mr. Tim, he's going to find us a wheel. I would say that this is a what, right or left hand side one? Okay, so there it is. There it is. Pretty straight, not too bad. I guess I could have put a magnet on it, made it straighter, but it's not. It's not bad. I don't think it's bent. What do you think? Think it's bent? Don't look bent to me. Maybe it looks a little bent. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. So what I'll do is I will get the. I'm going to get the rake over here. Tim's going to move that heap of junk. We'll get the rake over here, and we're going to put this into the rake, and then we'll drill the hole and put the bolt in. Got the right one?
Brand new.
Oh, cool. Is it a 60? That is a 60 too. Cool. So what we'll do is get the rake over here, get a hole drilled, put the bolt in, and call it fixed. You know what? I should probably hit that just a little bit more there. That's going to be a weak spot. I didn't get the slot filled in as nice as I'd like to. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's back on the machine. It's a bit ugly looking, but it doesn't matter because it is really strong now because of that other pipe that's put in there. And I noticed that that's hitting, so I went up here to look at this, and of course this is bent. Well, this is the front one. They do get caught in stuff like fence lines and shit like that, and they get caught when the machine breaks off, and that's about what's happened here. The machine got broken, obviously. This one nose dived into the ground and it bent it. So I'm going to fix this one the way that I fixed that one. You can see the better right here. So it's right at that point. It's strengthened, perfectly strengthened. It's good. That should be good. So I'm going to do the same thing to this one here. And I'm just going to cut it off there, put the new piece of pipe on, put it inside, do everything I did there, and put that back together. But the other ones, yes, the other ones that are on here, that front one, that one, that one, I'm just going to pull them off, and I'm going to just put the smaller pipe in and reinforce them because I don't like broken hay rakes. Okay? So, and this is what else I'm going to do to this hay rake. This is a brand new hay rake that I bought last fall, and it broke in half, and They came out, John Deere that is, i.e. John Deere. This is an H&S 2112. I love these rakes. I think they're quick. They're easy to unfold. They're fast in the field. You can get into corners with them. They take the heavy windrows and they put it all in there. They're easily adjustable with this Acme thread. This Acme thread here, you can move each hole and then wind in or wind out the Acme thread to make fine adjustments. It works really, really well. But the problem with them is this piece of tubing here. Now, this piece of tubing is only 3/16 4x4. 3/16 inch thick 4x4 square hollow tubing. Okay, so they put it on there, and if you're doing 20 acres a year or even 100 acres a year, you'll probably have this thing for a lifetime. You won't have any issues with it because it's heavy enough for that. I am doing thousands of acres. Okay, I am putting a lifetime of work through one of these rakes in 1 year. And what happens is with the tilt cylinder that is right there, the new tractors actually have so much hydraulic force that they force that thing in and it bends this beam inward, ruining it. So what happens, you wouldn't think that that's such a big deal, but it wears your tires out because now it is towed outward. And when you go down the road or even in the field, they're towed outward. It destroys the tire. So you don't really have a tire that's going to last for very long. And even though these are cheap trailer tires, they are expensive. That's about $80 for that tire. So $80, $160 right there just for the tires. And the other thing is later, like what happened after about 250 acres, right here, if you see right here, there's two welds that are extraordinarily close to one another. And when you heat steel and move it around a little bit, this weld here was done, and then this one here, there's a lot of stress right in there, a lot of pressure and pulling right in that area. And what happens is it has to go somewhere. So as this thing is bending and flexing and turning, this is cracking. And this is where it broke off. It actually cracked off right there, and that's what on the other side, and I lost that half of the rake. I have the pieces outside, and I'll show you in a little bit how thin this wall is. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut this off right here. And I'm going to slide in 3.5 by 3.5 1/4-inch thick wall square hollow tubing. I'm going to put it in there. But before I put it in there, I'm going to torch holes here, 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 up in here in this area in several different spots all along the frame of this rake. Boom, boom, boom. And then I will weld through this piece, plug weld it into these little holes that I'm going to be torching all along this brand new piece of steel. What that will do is take that 3/16, add a 1/4 inch. So 3/16, what do we got? An 1/8, which we have 1, 2, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, and then again 5/16. No, 3/8, 7/16. Well, whatever the hell it is, 3/8, 7/16, right? So it'll be 7/16 inch thick. Then essentially 7/16 inch thick. And I won't have the stresses here to break. And even if it does crack, I'll have a plug weld here, I'll have a plug weld here, I have a plug weld here, here, and all of this stress will be transferred from the outer casing or the outer square hollow tube into the internal one. And hopefully, yes, hopefully, because this is still straight, because I haven't used the rake since they put the new frame in, hopefully that'll alleviate the problem that I have with that cylinder actually jacking that thing forward. So the last time I fixed the rakes, I built a bridge from here out. It's basically a bridge, I call it, or a truss. And that took all the pressure away from here and actually put it into the back and kept it from bending that forward, which was great, but it did nothing here. So I'm going to fix this by putting that new piece of tubing in there, and hopefully that alleviates all my issues with that. It is rainy. We're in the rainy season of July, which is kind of weird. We've got like 20 days of rain. So I can do all this shop projects and stuff that I need to get done, so when it does dry up, I got all my equipment back together, running where it needs to be. I got some crone issues and tedder issues that I'm going to address while it's raining also. Just pick up tines on the crone and tedder teeth on the tedder. So anyways, you get to look forward to that stuff too. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.